Bob Marley once said, some people think they're living in heaven, but they're living in hell. In yesterday's Rocio's video, she says that she's very happy where she is right now, even without mentioning Africa or mentioning Marwa or even calling Marwa baby daddy. That tells you that Marwa is like a bad memory to her that she does not want even to recall. Let me say this. Marwa married into a different culture without adapting. He puts Rocio in a stable, like one of those horses. So Rocio could not even sit down besides firewood or a jiko and stir that ugali the way our black African ladies do here in the villages. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just play this clip, then we dive deep.
I feel like this time I felt called by this place to be here and to work on these dreams of mine, like my music, for example. I feel the call to do it here in my heart, to it, because once again, like I've always wanted to escape from here. I always thought the grass is greener somewhere else, but now I have a different vision about my country and my people and my culture. And something that I noticed traveling is like literally Latins, yes, all Latin America together, but Argentina, we are tremendously effective, tremendously. There's a huge hospitality here that you don't see in other places. There is a huge sense of friendship here that you don't see in other places. So,
beautiful people, amazing individuals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel that goes by the name Maxwell Lumumba Africa. Maxwell Lumumba is my name, a village content creator, born and raised in a village setup with no jobs, no lands, but at the end of the day, we have to do content creation for our sustainability. That being that, for those who have not subscribed to this amazing YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to other individuals. And remember to turn on the notification bell so that any day, anytime I post any video, you people watch my videos till the end without skipping any ads. Also, I have another YouTube channel that goes by the name Vibe with the Lumumba. Basically, in that YouTube channel, I post my lifestyle videos, village logs, and sometimes even traveling videos. Like yesterday, I posted a video me in Eldoret town. Today I'll be posting a video me in Mombasa town, and that is what I do in that specific YouTube channel. Let us just subscribe to that channel. Let us support that YouTube channel. I also have a playlist in that YouTube channel. Let us watch those videos. So for today's video, let's slow this down, because when someone speaks while trying not to say something, that silence is louder than those words. Rocio did a premiere yesterday, and she said she's happy, not just happy, very happy, comfortable, grounded, at peace. Now, here's the first thing people miss. Since she left Nyabuhanse village, she has never once said Africa. She has never said Kenya. She has never said my husband. She has never said Marwa, and she has never said my baby daddy. Instead, she kept using a careful phrase. When I was abroad, when I travel abroad countries, that choice of language is not accidental, because when someone refuses to name a place that defined 2 years of their life, and actually now it is like 2 months since Rocio left the village, that defines what they are really saying. That chapter is closed, and I don't want to emotionally revisit it. That is not bitterness. That is not boundary. Since Rocio went back to Argentina, she has done something very telling. She has reclaimed her identity. She speaks about her culture. She speaks about Argentina with pride. She speaks about crime there. And openly, honestly, she speaks about fixing her place, building and stabilizing. Rufi, actually, that means that is she's trying to root herself. That is a woman planting herself back into her soil. And then she says something even more important. She says that when she was abroad, she lacked community, she lacked friends, and she lacked a sense of belonging. That sentence alone tells you everything, because love without belonging is not love. It is what we call survival. And now let's talk about Marwa. Marwa married Rocio into a culture that he never prepared for, not emotionally, not socially, not intellectually. And here is where Redoom comes in. That thing where someone never explains what they feel, but you don't need an explanation because the behavior tells the whole story. Marwa did not adapt the Argentina's culture. He did not redeem. He did not adjust so as to fit himself almost in that culture. Instead, he expected Rocio to shrink and adapt African culture. Argentina and Kenya are not cousins. They are not neighbors. They are not culturally parallel. There is no correlation between Kenya and Argentina. So that does not make one better than the other. It makes adaptation mandatory. So because Marwa never took time to adapt, Rocio herself never took time to adapt to. And so that means both Rocio and Marwa did not adapt. And this is where the horse analogy becomes painful accurate. Marwa bought Appaloosa horses from South Africa. He doesn't understand them. He does not know their nutrition. He does not know their psychology, and he does not know how to care for the Appaloosa horse. And what happened? The horses are suffering. The horses are dying silently. And one of the horses is injured. Now translate that. Rocio was treated like a prize horse, an Appaloosa. Beautiful, rare, and valuable. But beauty without care becomes captivity. You cannot put an Appaloosa in a stable, throw grass at it, chain it, and expect it to flourish. And you definitely cannot do that to a human being. When Rocio ran to Nairobi, that was not random. Rocio was doing what we call rehearsal. That was her nervous system actually testing freedom. That was her body asking, can I live and survive? So when she went to Nairobi, she actually knew that even if I leave the village, I'll still survive, because the donations were coming, everything. People were asking that, where is the Rocio? Why has Rocio left? So people don't plan exit overnight. They rehearse them emotionally first. They imagine life without you long before they leave. Because this relationship has stayed for around 2 years, and now it is the second month since Rocio left the village, and still not one mention about Kenya, about Africa, about Marwa. That is not a normal behavior for someone who plans to return. If Marwa is telling us that Rocio will return, take it to the bank. Rocio, she's not coming back. So Western women are raised differently. They expect ceremony, they expect public acknowledgement, they expect affection, equality, and presence. So if you marry a Western, let's say, woman, you have to hold their hands, kiss them on their cheeks, and actually being chosen loudly. You cannot put that woman next to Wajiko the way Marwa wanted to put Rocio next to Wajiko. Tell her to stir ugali and sit quietly in a comfort zone. Then you wait for your wife to bring you maybe food. She's not going to do that. Rocio won't do that. Marwa had no time for Rocio. Instead, Marwa had time for begging, for building grudges, for online battle, and for enemies. This type of a woman is not weird for chaos. And then she says again in her premiere, that is yesterday's premiere, and I want to analyze that premiere deeply. I'm happy, very happy where I am right now. That statement is a closure statement. That statement tells you that no, Rocio, she's not coming back. Now look at that premiere. Look at those people that we call the moderators. The likes of Janet Harris, Judy Moyo, Michael L, and Kish Kish. They were there. They sit in that chat like security guards, not protecting Rocio, but protecting silence. Any mention of Marwa is a shutdown. Any question is a redirected. Why? Because the truth is dangerous to a cult. Anyone who exits Marwa's orbit is immediately labeled as hater, jealous, and ungrateful. So those words have become greetings. This is how cult psychology works. Let me say this. Rocio needs to get rid of those moderators in her channel. The likes of Janet Harris, Judy Moyo, they will not allow her to grow. They won't allow her to say certain things. They won't allow other people to give out their 2 senses as soon as Rocio does a live stream. The likes of Kish Kish, Judy Moyo, Janet Harris, Michael N, all of them are there watching, and they will be very conscious, marking every word that Rocio says, because they fear her speaking the truth about Marwa. They are afraid of her speaking her truth. This is how cult psychology works. And the like of Bob Marley once said, some people think they're living in heaven, but they are living in hell. When Marwa goes online and says that, I now have a family, I have a wife. Let me ask Marwa, where is your wife? Wife where? Read the leaves. The Appaloosa has gone. This is not a horse you had stable before. This is not grass you throw. This is not ownership. This is a human being. And already we have seen some of the relationships that are working. Look at Ling and Lang on YouTube. That has worked because the man adapts, he learns, he softens, he grows. That is love. Marwa never adapts. Not because he can't, but because he won't. He values things over people, status over intimacy, and control over connection. And Rocio saw that her Nairobi trip was not a vacation. It was a goodbye rehearsal. She's not coming back. And this is not hatred. This is analysis, because when a woman erases your name from her language, builds in her homeland, reclaim her culture, and publicly declares happiness, their relationship is already buried, and Marwa is still talking to a ghost.